This might be either the best news or the worst news in a long time, but it sure is news. Hey, what's up guys, it's Samurai. How are you guys doing today? Having a fantastic day. I'm sorry I didn't upload RaceInformer yesterday. My sleep schedule's been messed up the last few days, and also summer school, and yesterday summer school ended at 2:30. Usually it ends at 10. So this is actually being filmed current day, which I don't usually do, but anyway, this is kind of we got some news to talk about. There's a lot of good news and a lot of maybe good, maybe bad news, but we'll get right into it. So I think the most important news to start off with is Brian France. You guys have probably heard about it, even if you don't watch NASCAR that much. You guys might just be clicking on this video because it says Brian France in the title, but Brian France got arrested on Sunday night after the race at Watkins Glen for drunk driving, and also he had a drug with him that he wasn't supposed to have. I know the drug starts with an O, but all drug names are way too complicating. Yeah, he was caught with drugs, illegal drugs, or at least illegal for him. I think it's prescription, but like he's not supposed to have it. But yeah, he got arrested, and here's his mugshot, and then here's the mugshot that I photoshopped, or I didn't really Photoshop, but I put the emojis, the Twitter emojis over it. I posted it on Twitter, and then I immediately took it down because I was like, people are gonna get mad about this. But I can post it on here because nobody cares what I post on YouTube. I think that's kind of a good thing for NASCAR because Brian France, as you guys probably know, in the past many years, he's been around for 15 years now. Yeah, 15 years, because 2003 was the year that he was inducted vice president or CEO. I think it's vice president. I think it's the same thing. I'm not sure. But he was vice president since 2003, and the sport's really been going on a slope downhill since then. So maybe this won't be that bad because I'm hoping nothing has been released yet. That's also one of the reasons I didn't upload until today, was because I was waiting for more news to be released, but none of them was released yet about Brian France being taken out of NASCAR. Okay, yeah, this was 2 days ago and I haven't heard about it. I'm reading right now. NASCAR issued a following statement on Monday. Brian France taken an indefinite leave of absence from NASCAR as chairman and chief executive officer. It's CEO, okay? And Jim France is now CEO. Does he actually care about the sport or no? Oh, he was elected ISC board in 1970. Okay, so he does care. He does seem to care. That's good. I didn't know about that. I just now read that. But yeah, Brian France, I think him being gone from the sport will not be a bad thing. But on the same page, it puts a horrible image to the sport. It puts a horrible image to NASCAR. NASCAR looks horrible because of this. One of the best days on the whole sport in a long time. Probably since Junior won Phoenix in 2015 in a rain-shortened race. It's one of the best days that we've seen in NASCAR in a long time. And because Chase Elliott gets his first win. Probably they're going to be the most popular driver. And then Brian France does this to mess it all up. He has to go drinking and driving. What an idiot. What an absolute idiot. Get out of our sport, please. In other news, more uplifting, brightening news, Bill Elliott has announced that he will be running the Road America Xfinity race. And I'm pretty excited about that because Bill Elliott, I don't think he's run any races since like 2012. I remember he ran like one race, like Daytona in 2012. He drove like the 50 car, and it was like Walmart. And in other news, we don't really talk about much of the Xfinity, but we have now. I think we should talk more about Xfinity because, I mean, it makes the videos longer, and I've been talking about it anyway, but there was rain tires in the Xfinity race. It rained from about lap 25 to 33. It didn't rain for that long. Like, the dry was pretty quickly dry afterwards, but they had to put rain tires on, and they only raced like 3 or 4 laps of actual green flag racing under the rain, and then it really kind of stopped raining, and the sun came out, and the track dried really quickly without them even having to stop the cars, and it just dried by itself. So, I mean, the cars being out on the track really kind of helped with that, but it dried pretty quickly. It was not that big of a wet race. It was not that long of rain tires, but it was pretty good for the sport. I mean, we love seeing rain tires. We love seeing the rain racing at road courses. I wouldn't like to see it anywhere else. Mid-Ohio, Road America, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, Canadian Tire. that's all fine, but I don't want it anywhere else. I like it simply at these places. Or, you know, if they added another road course. But besides the Roval, I wouldn't like that. I don't want that at Bristol, though. That doesn't seem like fun. I wouldn't want it anywhere else. All right, now let's get into the race rundown. We spent a long time on talking about the news. We had an exciting race in the beginning. The first, you know, few laps were being raced like it was the final 5 laps. But it actually was pretty exciting in the beginning of the race. We saw a lot of back and forth. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin were racing back and forth. And they got checked up coming into the carousel, I think on lap 6. And AJ Allmendinger, or Joey Logano, I think, got into the back of AJ Allmendinger. And then Joey Logano spun around, went into the sand, and then he didn't know that he was under the damaged car policy, so he went to the garage, but apparently he was on the damaged car policy, so he got put out of the race, which I don't think is fair. I don't like the damaged car rule in the first place. I think you should be able to... That's how it's been for 30 years. If you get your car damaged, you go to the garage, work on it. Even though you're not going to be able to win the race, you can still make up some laps. Maybe if another guy wrecks out, you can get that position, and every spot matters. It's the truth. And plus, you know, you want to see your guy running, right? It's not fair that Logano got a little bit of fender bender and was out of the race. I don't find that very fair. I'm okay with the stages, but I don't like that rule. I really don't. We also saw some pit stop troubles. Denny Hamlin had some pit stop troubles. He was going into his pit box, and when he came out, he pulled some tires out. Brad Keselowski was also involved in it. He hit one of the crew members. Chase Elliott had also some issues where one of his crew members fell down. Then he did this. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it was wild on pit road. After the final pit stops, it was really pretty wild. And also, we saw some Kyle Busch. He had some issues. Kyle's comeback. He had a really great comeback. Kyle Busch led a lot of the first part of the race. He won stage 1, or not stage 1. He won stage 2. He led a lot of stage 1. He led a lot of the second half, or the beginning of the second half. But he went on that same pit stop that Denny Hamlin had his issues on, and Kyle Busch did not get his fuel all the way in. Only a little bit of the fuel went in. So Kyle Busch on that same caution had to come back in, get the fuel all the way in, which was a positive kind of because it gave him, you know, a few more laps on fuel. So if it was a fuel mileage race, he probably would have won. He had to restart back in the mid-20s, and actually by the time that the race was over, he finished 3rd, and he was only 10 seconds behind the leader. So, you know, like 10 more seconds of the race, and he would have finished 2nd. So, because Truex was like 7 seconds behind, so like 3 more seconds actually, Kyle Busch would have finished 2nd in the race. And 1 more lap, because Chase Elliott ran out on the final, or on the cooldown lap, Kyle Busch would have won. Kyle Busch would have won the race if there was 1 more lap. All right, now let's talk about the caution issue. This is something that I have. It's my opinion. I think whenever a car wrecks, obviously, or a car spins out, maybe not at Watkins Glen, like if they spin out onto the gravel or something, like he spins out like in turn 1 on a little area. If you just spin out there, okay. I mean, don't pull a caution for that. But if a caution comes out, or like if somebody spins in front of the whole field, or like if somebody hits the wall like Jimmy Johnson did, and they don't pull a caution for that, I don't like that. I really don't, because I think cautions, 1, add more excitement, and 2, if you don't pull out a caution for a situation like Jimmy Johnson's, it ruins the person's day. So pull out a caution for it. I mean, Johnson needs to get good finishes if he wants to be really locked into the chase, and he really needs good finishes in the first place because his average finish this season isn't that good. So, in my opinion, pull out a caution. I mean, Alan Marola, he had the same exact wreck at the same exact place on lap 6, and they pulled out a caution for it, but they didn't do that for with like 5 laps to go, which I think really would have upped the excitement of the race. I don't know why they didn't do it. It's kind of annoying. And now let's talk about the final laps. Truex versus Chase Elliott. So for the last, probably 15 laps, Chase Elliott and Truex were running nose to tail. It was really close racing the entire final 15 laps. I don't know why Truex couldn't ever get past him or move him out of the way, but I'm telling you that if he did, he'd probably be one of the most hated drivers. I mean, I'll tell you that much. He'd go from hero to zero in the matter of one race. So I'm kind of happy that he didn't end up winning that race. Plus, I don't like Truex anyway, so I'm happy because of that reason that he didn't win either. And because I like Chase Elliott. On the final lap, though, they were getting really close. And then Truex Chase Elliott messed up going into turn 1, and that made me think he was not going to win the race. But then luckily, Truex did. Truex messed up on turn 1 also. But now that Truex ran out of gas coming into one of the final turns, it wouldn't have mattered. Chase Elliott would have won anyway. One more lap, and Kyle Busch would have won that race. Now let's talk about one highly discussed topic. Is Hendrick Motorsports back? No, they're not. I mean, Chevy used to be one of the most successful manufacturers in the whole entire sport. It was the most successful manufacturers in the whole entire sport. They have 27 manufacturer championships, and the fact that they have gone from that to only 2 Chevy wins in this entire season, it really kind of shows. And the first one was the Daytona 500, and that was because Austin Dillon got Eric Almirola loose and then ended up wrecking him. And then the second one was because one more lap and Kyle Busch would have won. So, I mean, Chevy's really had a tough season, in my opinion. So I don't think Chevy or Hendrick is back. Just my opinion. Now let's look at the point standings. The point standings haven't really changed much. I mean, the only change is a few more points ahead by Kyle Busch. He's pretty much going to be the regular season champion. Unless if he gets a lot of bad finishes and Harvick gets a lot of good finishes, it's pretty much going to be Kyle Busch as the regular season champion, which will give him a big boost coming into the playoffs. And then obviously Chase Elliott is now into the playoffs, locked in. I mean, he was pretty much locked in before, but he's definitely locked in now. So we're up to 9 guys who have won a race this season. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys like this video, please leave a like on it. If you dislike this video, please leave a dislike and a hate comment telling me exactly what I did wrong. Be sure to subscribe to notifications, and as always, goodbye bunny rabbits.